Wait, I don't think the first thing I should do in the video is throw off my white balance. What's up, Victoria? C'est moi, Victoria. And today we're going to be playing with new makeup. I received some gifts from my birthday. I received my Salt New York order. I also bought something that I had previously decluttered, and we're going to get into all the nuances of that. If you are new to my channel, hi, welcome. Today I'll be talking about new to me makeup and new makeup in general, but what I typically like to do on my channel is to unpack makeup marketing and try to encourage you to use what you have before you make a makeup purchase. But I also do reviews to help guide you to make smarter purchases whenever you are ready to make a purchase. If that sounds good to you, I would love for you to subscribe. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. Those are linked in the description box down below. More importantly, I love a pinned comment with links to support people. If you have money to support people, use those links to support them. And I'm very excited. This is going to be a fun video, I think. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. So maybe we'll just do like a little unboxing. So this is a Chanel box. This arrived on my doorstep today. I didn't buy anything from Chanel. My friend Cam over at Clove Room, she bought me the Chanel Sublimage concealer. This is in the shade 02. I'm not sure we're going to use this today, but I did get it. It's in a beautiful little glass bottle. I have complicated feelings about jarred makeup like this, especially when it comes to complexion products, but this has been on my to try list for some time. In fact, when we were in Chicago together, we went to try to buy it, and it turned into this whole thing. And I'm gonna let that moment stay for us. It came from Chanel, but there was a lovely card, and it's kind of related to the moment that we had in Chicago, and it was very lovely, and it made me feel emotional. Well, the other thing that I bought, I purchased this. This is from Salt New York. I have 3 of these now, but I told you that I did buy the concealer and the Sneaky Balm, and I also did end up buying 2 of the limited edition blushes they released earlier this year. They are discontinued, but you can still buy them. They must still have stock of them. I don't know what their names are, so I don't think we're going to be wearing either one of those, but what I can do is touch both formulas, because there was a lot of talk about the Hannah Louise Poston collab being less emollient than this, but I don't know how true to form these are to their regular line. And yeah, we'll talk more about that whenever we get to it. And then I think what we'll probably actually start with is this. So this is the ROEN 1111 quad. Now, longtime viewers will know that I have had this in my possession. I've actually had 2 in my possession at one point, and I decluttered them, but I don't dislike the ROEN eyeshadows. I guess we're just starting. We're starting with this. I'll start prepping my eyes. We'll get everything together while I talk about this and explain why I made this purchase. I just have been missing having it in my life. I really liked it, and I think as time has progressed, the ROEN quads came into my life when I was starting to explore the satisfaction of one and done eyeshadow makeup. And I'm going to start with the Ulta Matte Veiled Longwear Eye Primer, and I'm just going to put this down, not to really improve longevity. I'm just using it to correct discoloration. This isn't for longevity. I know how ROEN eyeshadows perform, so I'm not expecting incredible longevity. So I gave both of the ones I had in my possession away. One was sent to me from a lovely subscriber, and that was very kind of them. And one I bought because another subscriber was really kind, and I don't know anything about BoxyCharm. I know that, I think it's all Ipsy now, but Ipsy had owned BoxyCharm for a while. Anyway, I don't really know how any of that works. I'm not really here to get into the nuances of that. The Boxy sale page was open to everyone, and I bought one new for $16. It kind of all happened at once. I just ended up having 2 of them. I also tried the 75 degrees warm and the 56 degrees cool palette from them, but this one was by far my favorite of the ones I tried. I'm also going to line my eyes while I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna use Night Flash from Victoria Beckham just as a little bit of a base down. It has some sparkle in it. One of the ROEN quads went to my roommate and best friend Tiff. They actually really loved it. They really loved it, and it's one of their favorite makeup items. So I was like, well, I'm not going to ask for them to give that back to me. Tiff rarely does their makeup, but whenever they need something really easy to throw on, that's what they're choosing. And I was just I'm not asking for that back. They really like it, and I'm glad that they do. And then the other one went to my friend Jordan, and she lives in Connecticut, and I wasn't about to have the audacity to ask her to ship it back to me. I was supposed to ship it to her forever, and then she visited me me. So I was going to ask her to ship it because it took me forever to even get them in her hands because she didn't even get them until she came to visit. I promise you they were all boxed up, ready to go. They didn't just, the only thing that needed to be done was to get a label for it, and I just never got around to it. Anyone who's had to wait for things from me in shipping, know that it just happens when it happens. I hate to be that person, but I just am. I would like to be better, but you know, the days end and the last thing I thought about was shipping stuff. And that's really how it ends up being. Well, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I went up and played with Tiff's the one day, and I was just like, wow, I just like really like this. I just think it's much more in my style now than it was even when I got it. I just wanted to have it again. And I went to ROEN's website to try to buy it directly through them. I don't think they make it anymore. There's still a page for 1111, but they're like, it's been out of stock. I checked a couple times, a couple different months, and it's sold out every time. And I don't think that's because of the overwhelming popularity. I do think that the ROEN eyeshadow quads, no one really cares about them anymore except for me. I bought mine secondhand, and then that also opened up further thoughts. So something that I have been really struggling with this year, and the idea with being a makeup content creator who does review content and sometimes likes to buy makeup, and someone who is politically aware of where money is going at all given times, I haven't really narrowed down the complicated way to navigate some of that. For example, a lot of people buy stuff at Sephora and Ulta. They have ties to money and bad things. They probably always have, but I'm feeling very woke, I guess, at this time. So thinking about buying some makeup secondhand really opened up the possibility. And of course, I don't want to overspend on secondhand makeup. However, if I ever see releases that I maybe want, or releases that I did want and have passed, I don't think buying secondhand is out of the realm of possibility for me in the future when it comes to some makeup items. I won't do it for everything, for sure. And I also, use extreme caution and your best judgment if you are buying makeup online to make sure that you're not getting scammed and the deal's too good. So I've had really good luck buying secondhand makeup, but I don't do it very often. But I was just thinking about that, and I just thought I would share that. But anyway, I'm glad to have the ROEN quad back. This is something that I'm going to put directly in my main drawers because I just have been missing it and I just really like it. So I'm going to go into the shade hashtag here and just tap it on my lids, and I'm just really excited for this. I have a review video of ROEN quads. They're kind of I think they're going away, but if you have interest in what I think of the eyeshadow formula, that's a good place to go to get that info. Exactly. This is exactly what I wanted this to be. I'm so happy to have this. And I wouldn't say I regret decluttering them. That's not what I'm walking away from this from. And I'm not gonna do a thing where now I hold on to makeup just to see if my preferences ever fall into it. I don't really like having a ton of makeup in my room. I don't want to have a ton of, just makeup hanging out in my room. So yeah, rebuying this was totally fine. And I have this smutty, sultry look that only took an eyeliner and it. Let us do Sparkle Cam. I don't know that I ever did it with the ROEN quads. Different era. I don't even think I had my 4K camera. I could be wrong about that. I'm fairly certain my ROEN review is from before I even had this set up in this corner of my room to film. Look at them. Smutty, sultry. Only real ones will know left blur from right blur. I don't really know the difference. So pretty. I could even go a step further and add more sparkle, which I could do, which would be fun, but I think I'm just gonna leave it as is. The side swept bangs thing just happened. I'm not really sure if I'm committed. The funny thing about me growing out my hair is I don't really like wearing it down at all, but I do like it up. I like the fact that there's hair there. I don't understand this affliction I'm experiencing, but it is something I figured I'd mention to you, because why not? I just put black in my waterline, and I'm going to apply mascara. Nothing new there. I'm just using my SURRATT Relevée mascara. Let us now move on to Salt New York. I'm going to zoom in just like a little bit so you can just see my face a little bit bigger in frame. I have tried the Sneaky Balm from Salt New York before, and I tried a couple of their other products. That old video of mine, I think got thrown back into the algorithm because I was talking about Salt New York, and I think a lot of people are looking for Hannah's collab videos, like people testing that out. So I think also like your algorithm, if you like watch Hannah and you watch me, it might have got brought back up. I know a couple of my friends were like, this video popped up in my algorithm. It's an old video. I think it's been 2 years since I've tried Salt New York. Here's what I remember. Like, I haven't gone back to watch what I thought, but I remember thinking it was kind of just like nothing. And I know that's why a lot of people like the Sneaky Balm. To me, it just wasn't. If something has lower coverage, I don't really mind that. Like, that's fine. But I also, if it's not gonna have coverage, which again, it's not really my number one thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for some kind of magical second thing to be happening, whether it's like blurring or whatever. Like, to me, it was so undetectable. It felt like I hadn't put makeup on. I didn't feel like I had done anything to gently improve my appearance either. I just felt like I was like putting on like invisible cream. Like, it might as well just have been like an invisible balm that I was putting on my face. That's kind of how I felt about it at the time. My skin's different now. Like, I think my skin's a little bit drier, and so this might work a little bit better. Also, we're heading into the winter months, so my skin's just going to be drier for the foreseeable. I don't know what time of year I tried the Salt New York stuff the first time. That was my opinion. The concealer didn't exist at the time, and as far as the bronzer, the highlight, and the contour or blush, I tried a couple of other things. Their contour shade in taupe is too warm for me and my liking, so I didn't really care for the color of that, but I don't remember disliking the formula. I think it worked fine. The blush, it was like, I think the shade was like rose or something. It was a very simple shade, and now I think they have 3 depths of each of their blushes, and I don't know what it's called now, but I think it was like just rose at the time. And I remember thinking that was a nice blush formula, but that rose color was kind of like nothing to me. And then the highlight, I remember like thinking it was my favorite thing of all of them, but I didn't buy a new highlighter. So I think what we're going to do today is use the Salt New York stuff, and we will use this in another video, but I will probably try it before whatever that video might be. So I'm going into my palette. I got the lightest shade of both, which might have been a mistake. They look a little yellow, maybe a little olive. I know that people with olive undertones really like the lightest shade of the Sneaky Balm. I don't remember whether or not the shade worked really well for me last time. Like, I don't really remember. So I'm thinking for primer today, we'll just go with the Victoria Beckham. I just did my skincare, so my skin should be like ready to receive makeup. I'm afraid of going too oily or too moisturized. The Salt New York products are quite emollient. I want my skin to feel prepped, but I don't, want to overdo it. I don't want to look completely dewy. So yeah, I'm just hoping that I like the balm more. If not, I hope I like the concealer, and hopefully it will give me a little more coverage. I have some things we can try spot concealing. I have this Zet and this Zet. It's so funny. I've been feeling a little sick, a little under the weather. You could definitely hear it in my Hannah Louise Poston video. Like, I could hear it when I was editing, and I was like, and I was even more sick when I was editing it. Anyway, I thought I was like on the other side of it. I like woke up feeling well this morning, but then I was like using my walking pad while I was working, and I felt like I was gonna throw up. So I was like, I don't think we're quite there yet to be like working out and running around, but I feel comfortable. I want to film, but I don't think I'm contagious or anything. It's just like limitations with my body. Let's just swatch the Sneaky Balm and the concealer. Let's just get in there. So the Sneaky Balm is on my index finger, and then the concealer is on my middle finger. Texturally, they're very different. The concealer is a lot thicker, but color-wise, I think they look very similar. The Sneaky Balm is on top. You might not even be able to see them, so I think we're gonna be okay with the match. They look a little yellow, but I think that whenever they are spread out on my face, I think we will be fine. I'm sure I tried applying it with a brush last time, so I'm going to go into the Sneaky Balm. I'm going to apply it to the right side of my face and check in. I think the match is looking good. I think the other problem I had when I tried Salt New York the first time is like, it felt really hyped up. I just know so many people who love what they offer, and I just like was like, it's not giving special enough to me at the time. And if there's one thing I really kind of don't like, it's something that I feel like isn't warranted, like the hype isn't warranted once you try it. Like, it's just such a bummer. Okay, so here it is on the side of my face, and nothing on this side of my face. I do feel like it definitely did more than I recall it doing. Like, it definitely evened out some of my redness. It's obviously very sheer coverage, so you can still see the redness on that. I like this more. Is it wowing me? No. But you know what I'm thinking it could be good for? Is like mixing it with stuff. So like maybe like mixing it with this and making a little bit of my own little, you know, liquid foundation, just because like that's my preferred foundation type. I'm gonna apply it to the other side of my face. But the other thing that really always bothered me about Salt New York, I know that people really run through them, which I think is good. I think products should be use-upable. And I know that's not what everyone thinks, but especially when it comes to complexion products and cream products, it's like it should be a reasonable amount for you to get through before it expires. But it's also just like a different version of the same thing. I think they sell jumbo pans of this now. Maybe this resolved the problem. I just know a lot of people had to like re-up on it a lot, and like that kind of bothers me. I think I feel less insane about that now. I like the look of that. And it's pretty undetectable on the skin, but I definitely feel like it did more for me this time than it did the last time I used it. I guess I'm not walking away from this like super wowed about this. It's not screaming like run and recommend people buy it, but if you're looking for like a pan skin tint, I think it's a nice look to it. It's not looking super greasy, which was my concern. It kind of melted right into the skin. Okay, let's go in with the concealer. I'm gonna just use my finger. I'm gonna tap a little on that, and then the rest under my eye. And a little bit on the redness on this part of my cheek. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, this combo is working for me. This, I think, completes the vision. I'm not someone who really likes to spot conceal. I mostly conceal under my eyes. And I normally do that for brightness, but this is the same color as the foundation shade that I got. So this side has had a little bit of concealer here under the eye, and then on that zit. And I think it looks pretty good on that. Like, it's not, you can still see that I have a zit, but it like definitely evened down the redness. Yeah, I think as a combination, this is working for me. I'm liking the way it's looking, and it kind of solves the problem of the very sheer coverage of the Sneaky Balm, leaving me wanting maybe a little bit more. I do think everything about like what I've applied is like would be really undetectable. I also feel as though like if I didn't want to put on anything to bring life back to my face, I don't think that these complexion products are making my skin look lifeless. You know, sometimes you'll put on foundation or like even a skin tint or something, and you'll like take a look at your skin and you'll be like, it's just like, I need to add some life back to it. I don't feel like I need to do that. Definitely it feels like a much better experience for me this time. And then maybe we could do some more like texture comparisons to some of the Salt New York stuff. So I'm gonna contour. I'm gonna use my regular Rituel Defee stuff for contouring. So Omen and Intuition from Rituel Defee, that's what I'm gonna use. I'm almost out of Intuition. I was messaging my friend Darren, who's Mix Darren on Instagram, and I had a Girls Aloud song stuck in my head. Like, I don't think that people in the United States really like are super aware of Girls Aloud unless they're like really into girl pop, you know, pop girl groups. And I have one of their songs stuck in my head, and I've had it stuck in my head for the last 48 hours, and I listened to it today to try to expel it from my mind, and it only made it stickier. It just only made it stickier in my mind. Okay, so we've contoured, and then I also want to visit another product I've been really enjoying. I featured this simihaze bronzer in a video where I was trying new makeup. No, it wasn't. It was in the was it in the After Sass? No, I don't know. It was in a video not that long ago. I tried this bronzer, and I love it. Like, I've used it a couple of more times, like maybe like 4 or 5 more times off camera. I've used it on camera, I think, even another time. I really like this. It's just a great tone for me. And I just like the way it applies. It just feels organic. I like its finish. Someone commented somewhere that this formula lasts really well in humidity, which I think is impressive. I mean, do we need to do a deep dive on simihaze? Do I need to try a lot more stuff from simihaze, or was this an anomaly in their line? Just like look at the warmth it added. And I think it's a nice natural warmth for me. I don't feel like it's like orange. I just think it looks warm. It's kind of reminding me like if the Gucci bronzer had a cream version. I think it's like it's reading very similarly to the Gucci bronzer color on me. Like the fair Gucci bronzer color. I've had such a good year for bronzers. I feel like this year for bronzers, like in the mainstream, like all the bronzers I fell in love with this year, I don't think came out this year. I don't think the Trixie bronzer wasn't new to this year. And I don't think this one was either. And yet, I tried both of them this year, and incredible. But I feel like bronzer was pretty boring in the like new releases this year. I also pulled out my Hannah Louise Poston quads. Some further thoughts now that I've had these for a little bit longer. If you have similar preferences to me as far as like how you like to blush to show up, I would say go for the darker version. So if you have medium skin tone, get the darker ones. If you have light skin tones, get the medium ones. If you are looking for like really barely there anything, then get the one for your skin depth. The only thing that you would want to get for your skin depth for sure is like the highlight. That's the only thing that I wouldn't recommend like going into the deeper one for. I do like the light shades whenever I have applied them, but the medium shades have been like much more my speed. All right, so it's cold in my room, and did I accidentally sleep with my door cracked last night? Yes, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. That was crazy behavior from me. I woke up to let my dog out in the middle of the night, and it wasn't like fully open. It was just like, it was cracked, but it was like I had tried to shut it. And I don't really know. I wasn't drunk or anything last night. I don't really know like what happened. I must have just like tried to shut it, but it was like mostly shut. It just like was cracked. Like, I don't know. It was just so weird. Like it wasn't latched. It was just so interesting to do. Anyway, no one was here. Everyone woke up. Everything was fine. But it was like a really scary thought to have in the middle of the night. And then I didn't fall back asleep because it was like, someone's in this room with me. It didn't happen. Nothing happened. Everything's okay. I want to like swatch. I just want to like touch stuff. Okay. I'm just like swatching one of Hannah's blushes, and it's like a balm. It's definitely like a balm. It's like sheer. It like melts when I touch it. Maybe it requires like a little more back and forth than other balms I've tried. And so here's one of their limited edition blushes. I would say it is, as promised, like a little bit less emollient in Hannah's collab, but I wouldn't say like to a degree where it feels like the texture is entirely different. I'm not sure is what the goal was. If Hannah and Kiki feel like it is less emollient, then it probably is to the satisfaction of both of them. But to me, it doesn't feel like much off the texture of these ones. But also you can tell this is the concealer. Look at how melty it kind of stayed. But the foundation didn't do that. But I did apply this with my fingers. So my fingers were in there, but I did apply, I don't know. It's interesting. It is interesting. And then like, here's the texture of the Ritual Defy creams. And this is much thicker. And you can tell that by the opacity that it has, that it is just like much less emollient than either of the Salt New York formulas. Same thing with the simihaze, just to kind of stick to it. Although this formula it's a balm, but it's like immediately a powder finish once you start blending it on the skin. It's really strange. So yeah, I would say that they're less emollient. I would say like if we're going on a percent, like if we're going on a scale of like 1 to 10 and the regular Salt New York balm stuff is like a 9 out of 10 on emollients, I would say like Hannah's collab is maybe a 7 or 8 out of 10. Like it's like very, very minor. And I just wanted to say that because I was like, that was definitely some question that I felt like people were like curious about in the ether. So I wanted to like kind of do that. Today I want to put on let's put on Oyster Fig. I said it right. I kept saying it wrong in the video, which is so annoying. There's nothing worse than like you're like, oh, I really wanted this glitter on it. It's a blush brush, but it has glitter on it. But of course, I'm just taking my BK 109 brush and we're just gonna apply it. So there it is with one layer. Keep in mind, this is the old gum for medium skin tones. I do think that these are warm-ish on me. Very pretty. My hair is getting stuck in it. I don't know if it will like set down. I'm still kind of like figuring these out. They are definitely different from my usual thing because I tend to like cream, and I mean like cream blushes, and these are definitely like a balmier thing. They're not like the Nectar Pigment balms from Rituel, which would be like, I think the thing that has like the most similar consistency that I've used to do something a little bit different than those. It does look like it lifted the concealer off of that zit, and that was something that someone did say that was happening to them. So I'm just going to apply it with my fingers, which is probably the way to go. When it comes to these things, it's just like finger painting sometimes, while the most annoying option sometimes is the best option. And then I'm going to just take some what's left on this brush from the skin tint and blend that a little bit. I don't have anything else to use, so I'm just going to use Nimue from the lightest selection. I'm going to powder, and then we'll talk about lip combo. For lip liner today, I'm going to be using Witty Walnut from Singe Beauty. This was received in PR. I don't love these. I don't know if I've really talked about these. I have 3 of the shades, and I find that the application with them is inconsistent between the 3 of them. The one I have is pretty firm. This one, I think, is the most regular, middle-of-the-road Goldilocks version of the formula. And then I have Ambitious Ash, which was really soft. It was really soft. Every time I go to use it, I have to sharpen it again. I don't love a sharp lip line, so it's not like I need to sharpen my pencil every time anyway. It's just like, it's so soft that when I'm dragging it on my lips, it wears down to the wood every time I use it, which is really annoying because I actually really tend to like a blurred lip line. I don't want to have to sharpen it every time. That like defeats the purpose for me. Anyway, I'm gonna line my lips with this. And I also know that the shades are not friendly for those of you who have darker skin tones as well. That was like another problem that came up. That like kind of came to fruition on Instagram if you like missed all of that. So I'm just gonna apply this real quick. A very pretty color. The thing about the shades I have tried from this Singe lip liner line, they're quite like grungy and yucky colored. I appreciate that because I feel like a lot of like the grungy lip liner shades from major brands, they will look really grungy on the swatch. They will really, they will look grungy in the pencil. And then for some reason, when you put them on your lips, like it just turns brown. Like I feel like this is holding quite the like purple gray on my lips instead of like looking more brown, which I feel like a lot of the other ones I have, they kind of turn brown on my lips, and this one just, I feel like looks really gray. I featured this lipstick before. This is the shade Portal from BECKHAM, and I really like this lip color. I love the purple sheen in it. It's so pretty. This was PR. Did I say it was PR? It's PR. It's like a nude with a purple sheen, which then makes it look really cool toned, which then for me is the absolute dream. I don't know. I feel like I haven't tried a ton of lip products this year that I have loved. And I do like the formula, but this color is like just really doing it. I think I'm gonna spray my face. I'm thinking about which one I want to use. I'm gonna use the one from Trixie Cosmetics because it has a natural finish to it as opposed to being like too wet or too mattifying. Because I don't think my skin looks incredibly wet for the kind of products Salt New York are. It does seem that where I didn't really take the powder up to, which is like this part of my face, it's looking quite glowy, but also that's like where the highlighter is mostly. So let's just do like a quick recap of everything. The first the renew thing to me is the ROEN 1111 quad. I think I made the right choice in bringing this back into the fold and buying it again. I just really like it. I think that this is like an ideal eye look for me, and it took an eyeliner and this, and it's just kind of all done as the perfect, sheen gray with the sparkles in it. It's just beautiful, and it's kind of looking like a gloss, which I don't love eyeglasses, but I like the effect of them, and I feel like I'm kind of getting that effect with them. So I'm very happy to have this back. Then what was next? The Salt New York stuff. So the Sneaky Balm, which is what doesn't really matter. The Sneaky Balm and the concealer. The Sneaky Balm I liked a lot more this time. I feel like I got a lot more out of it. I think my skin is looking really healthy and radiant and a little bit perfected, but not overdone. So I get it. I get it a little bit more now. And I really liked the concealer. I do think the blush that I put on it lifted the concealer off of that, but I don't feel like it was lifted off of it. Well, actually, maybe it was also lifted off of that. That's it. So, word to the wise. I don't know if that's a concealer thing or if that is a part of the blush, because I know that people have had issues with the Salt New York stuff doing that. Further playing around, we'll have to confirm what is the real truth. And then on my under eye, I think the concealer looks really good. It's like not really caught in my, like the fold under my eye. I think it looks great. HLP collab. I think I like it more in theory than I really like it, if that makes sense. Like, I think that the colors are awesome. I think that everything about it existing is very cool. I just don't know that it's like 100% my speed when it comes to being a makeup wearer. That the way I view doing my makeup, even at its simplest core, is more than what this collection is trying to provide, which is okay. We're all allowed to have different styles of makeup. I'm still playing with them. I do think I really like the highlighter. I think that's like maybe my favorite thing from Hannah's collection, Nimue. I think it's definitely like the thing that I'm going to likely reach for the most, which is weird because I think the last time I tried Salt New York, the highlight was my favorite. Although I could definitely see myself using this balm a lot more, like the Sneaky Balm a lot more. But I need to get into them more. I still need to play around with them, figure out how I really like to apply them. I'm still like, feel like I'm really getting to know them. But that's just kind of my vibe on it. I think this is one of those moments where I was lucky enough to receive the Hannah Collection PR. So take everything I'm about to say with a grain of salt. I do think that it seems, based on some of the comments I got in the video where I just like swatched them and like kind of tried to give people a better idea of the color and the texture of them, that a lot of people, like their makeup style isn't aligning with this, but they bought it because of Hannah. And that's just like, you know, sometimes like that happens. You learn from that. So if you end up buying this and you don't love it and it doesn't end up living up to your expectations, or you thought old gum was going to look one way and what they came up with was a different thing, because, you know, like that definitely can happen. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to buy stuff just because a content creator that you really like makes it, because old gum is a very specific thing. I think all of these colors are a very specific color. So if it's not really up your alley, but you were buying it to support Hannah, you could run into that. So I just wanted to say that. The simihaze bronzer, weird hero product, weird new hero product for me. Also, I mean, although I featured it before, like two stars of the show. So here's the thing about these Singe lip liners. Kind of the same thing with the Hannah collab. It's like, I think if you really like the colors, I think that the colors that Singe provides are very unique. And I do like the lip liners. I think they have okay longevity. That just know that they're like kind of inconsistent when it comes to the texture of the colors whenever you get them. So if you buy more than one might be softer than the other. Like it just has turned out to be that way. So I do like the colors from Singe a lot. I don't know that like I recommend you buying them unless you really can't find a color that they provide elsewhere. And I guess that's kind of my suggestion to you. But I like it well enough. It's not my favorite lip liner formula I've tried, but the colors I really love. And the BECKHAM lip balm lipstick thing in the shade Portal. Like I say, I love it. Wow. It looks so pretty. Oh my God. And all I'm gonna do is edit videos after this. Anyway, friends, that's going to end the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not already. Make sure you check out the pinned comment. That's it for me, friends. Remember to follow your hope and you'll find me. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth. 'Tis out.